I can't wait to see the photos of that. It is 8:05, so I am going to get us started because Priyanka has arranged an amazing set of questions and topic for us to discuss tonight. So welcome. I see some new faces. And Candace, please drive safely. I was like, are you in the back of the cab or are you driving when you came up? So please drive safely. And
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. I just started recording.
oh, thank you.
FYI.
I was like, it should be auto recording and just,
Oh, is it? Well,
yeah,
it wasn't showing the red button, so I wasn't sure.
it shows on mine. We're good.
Oh, okay. Then I can stop.
I
I can stop recording then.
You can dump mine.
Okay.
Not hurting me.
Okay.
You
Okay,
do your
cool.
thing. And
Okay.
on that note, thank you for mentioning that, Priyanka. In case you guys don't know, WIB has actually started our own YouTube channel where we are recording these WIB Wednesdays and we are posting them up so people, if they miss content, they're able to go back. That is available at later dates. And Priyanka's also arranged some amazing interviews with other people to provide resources for us. So please, if you haven't checked out, I know I threw it in earlier, I'll throw in our link tree, but it has our Canvas, our YouTube, everything on there. WIB has been growing and expanding. So please know we're adding resources continually. And on that, I'm going to be distracted. I've got okay. She's so cute, Robin. On that, I'm going to introduce Priyanka, our amazing VP of Networking and Events, who has, thank you, Priyanka, for throwing that in there, who has arranged tonight and has put together some fabulous content for us. So please take us away.
Thanks so much. I just actually joined the board when last month, I think. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited. I actually started to give a brief introduction. I started my KD journey spring of 2021, which seems like a forever ago, and ever since I joined, I wanted to be a part of WIP, I was extremely passionate about it. But along the way, of course, job and apart from MBA, I was expecting and I had a son last year, May. So my hands were quite busy, quite full. And I couldn't, I couldn't take this responsibility earlier. So and then I decided after my son was a few months old, and then I decided, okay, it's time to do before I graduate, So I'm planning to graduate this summer. So yeah, I am, and then thanks, Michelle. She is extremely supportive of everything that I do. So yeah, it's incredible. So first of all, thanks all of you. I think most of you have had a long day and taking the time to show up in this event. And yeah, I really appreciate it. So just to give you an overview, like how this event is going to go. So first we will do an introduction. So we will go across the room and everybody will introduce themselves. There are 3 points you can specifically focus on, and it's generic as well. So about yourself and where you are in your Kelly journey, and what are your expectations from today's event. I'm going to post that in the chat. And then we are going to go to address some key questions regarding mentorship. And you, please feel free to share what experience you had till date regarding finding a mentor versus mentee, uh, or any tips or tricks that you think worked or slash didn't work. Feel free to share them as well. And then we are going to go to conclusion, and we will just there are some upcoming like open positions in the WIB board that are going to be available, including the presidential position. So we will share more details on that, and then we will wrap things up. So that's the overview, and I just copy and paste. Where is that? So, you guys, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. I can start. As I said, that my name is Priyanka, and I started my Kelly journey in spring 2021. It's almost towards the end. It's very intense, and I would say probably the core courses were much more intense than electives. So for sure, the initial few semesters were definitely challenging, and we had to juggle like 3 courses, right? So you have to forget about one course for 6 weeks and then turn on that switch so that you remember everything and then take the final. So it's a juggling game. Um, but anyways, it's been fun. It's been fun. I had made a lot of new connections, which is amazing and which is a great thing. And also we have career support. They are incredibly helpful. So if you are trying to find a new position, they will be definitely reviewing your resume, reviewing your cover letter. They will prep you for interviews and whatnot. And then uh, also there are courses that they take, like they conduct like navigators course and seekers course, right? So if you are job seeking, then it's for seeker, and if you are like trying to move up the ladder, it's the navigators course. So just the overview. I'm sure you guys already know. And my expectation from today's event is, I want to find a mentor. And believe it or not, I never had a formal mentor per se. I had that informal relationship, but it we never declared each other as a mentor or versus mentee, right? So yeah, I am looking for a mentor very actively. With that, I just open up the floor, and please feel free to introduce yourselves.
I can go. I'm Jenny. I was previously on the WIB board before I went on the KDSLA board, but I started the program at the same time as Michelle, and I am Michelle's #1 fan and cheerleader. So I've been super excited to see everything that she's done with the association in the year that we've been in the program now, which I can't believe that time flies. So I have a year to go, and I previously was in sports journalism. That's my background. And then I pivoted into marketing. And now I work for Susan G. Komen, the Breast Cancer Foundation. So very firmly in the healthcare space now. Not entirely sure where I want to go in the future, but I'm really enjoying the mission of working for an organization like Komen that has a mission to end breast cancer. So I've enjoyed that a lot. And I live in Lexington, Kentucky. So not that far from Michelle either.
I can jump off next. Oh, wait, no. You're still going, aren't you?
Oh, expectation for today's event. So I don't know that I'm necessarily looking for a mentor or a mentee, but in KDSLA, we have this mentorship program that is still kind of evolving. So I'm more here just to listen and get ideas to take back for how we can make sure that that mentorship program works, not just for the women in the program, but for all students. So that's what I'm here for.
Quick question, Jenny. So I know there is a mentor-mentee relation. That's a program. So that was one event that happened before. I heard about it, but I didn't get a chance to attend.
Yeah, so the student on the board who had previously facilitated that program graduated, and the new member of the board who came on wanted to reevaluate the program. And I think we all agreed that that was the right way forward. So the program's on a bit of a pause right now. The idea is to roll it out again at some point this year, potentially in the spring. But we need to still nail down a few of those final details. But just so everybody knows, there is a mentorship program that's facilitated through KDSLA in partnership with Graduate Career Services. And it's going to be great. Just don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. So stay tuned. But again, I'm hoping that some of the discussion that we have tonight will help me bring back some good ideas to help shape that program as well. So just keep that in mind, that that program is going to be coming in spring or summer.
That's amazing. I'll definitely keep an eye out to my email.
And I was able to participate in the 2 rounds that they did of it, and it was very successful, but it is a very labor-intensive process on the KDSLA board. So I'm excited to see how they revamp it, but definitely take advantage of that opportunity when you guys see it. About myself, my name is Michelle Din. I'm the president of our Women in Business Association. Yes, I found my Kelly soul sister and Jenny, and we started in spring of 22. My brain's gone, guys.
It's fine. It's fine. 22.
Yeah, we're like, I'm 10 years into this program in my brain right now. And I'm anticipating, hopefully, I have baby boy number 2 due this July. So we will see it still looks like I'll graduate spring of 24. So we're going to try. If you see me in the fall semester, I will have a 3-week-old. So just like, this will look even more fatigued, and just bear with me. My curly hair will just continue to evolve. So absolutely love Kelly. I've really enjoyed it. I'm starting core 3, so already, yeah, I'm already looking forward to my next elective section, even though it starts next week. Expectation from today's event. A mixture. So similar to what Jenny's discussed, and I know Sneha's on the call as well today. She's on our board. We would love, as WIB, to be able to develop a mentorship program, and I want to see how we can serve and progress with that and start to lay some foundations there. I have had mentors in the past, and it's really pivotal in capabilities when you find a mentor in your field and in your progression. So I would love to tackle that more aggressively as I'm looking to pivot in my career.
Should I go next, or is
Sure.
okay? Great. First, I'd like to say hi to everyone. I'm so excited that we have a happy hour, though I don't see any glasses, but I'm happy to be here. Second is I'm on the board. I'm the VP of Outreach for whoever doesn't know me, and I'm really excited about the event. Actually, Jenny and I are peer mentors through KDSLA, so that's yeah. So actually, that is one of the reasons. Like, we had a really good conversation, and we've reached out to each other a couple of times. But even though we don't have to talk every day, but I always know that I can reach out to Jenny, and I hope you know the same, Jenny. But so my idea of mentorship, I'm answering the second question first, but I guess it's okay.
That's fine.
So my idea of mentorship is I like the concept of peer mentoring, because it's really nice to understand that we can always learn from each other. Our entire concept of mentorship has I think the mentor-mentee thing kind of makes it a little reverential and formal, but having a peer mentor makes it really exciting because we have a lot to learn from each other. Today, I attended a 4-day event that had speed dating as a concept for networking, but it was on the terms of a peer mentor event in which I met 7 people in 55 minutes. And it was really interesting because there was someone whose career was exactly the reverse of mine, and she helped me understand why she went that way, and I helped her understand why I'm choosing to go my way. And it was like a 5 to 10 minute peer mentoring session, and it was really interesting because even in that short period of time, I felt like we could help each other a lot. And that's why I think mentoring is really important, especially if we do try to go the peer mentoring route. And about me, I started my MBA at KD in 2021 fall. And I've kind of been pacing it out because there have been some career changes and location changes and a lot of things going on. But I really am enjoying the program. I'm really glad I got to interact with a lot of you through this program. Michelle has been very supportive with everything I need to do. So I'm really happy to be on the board. So if you guys ever want anything, you can always reach out to me if there's anything I can help with. And I am I'm consulting pro bono at the moment because I can't work due to visa limitations. But other than that, I have been working across India. Then I worked in Dubai, and then I'm working here in the US. And I've worked in different sectors in product management, project management, consulting, and strategies, what I'm aiming to do now. And also, I've worked in data analytics. So if there's anything I can do to help you guys, or if you have any suggestions for me, I'm really open to that. And I hope we can take this forward and keep it going. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
And just to add something on that, Sneha also has a PMP. So I had some questions regarding PMP certification, and she had was a huge help. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And I had an interview which needed like Priyanka's expertise, so she helped me. So that was our mini peer mentoring
I
on the
know,
side.
right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was actually going to, I completely forgot, but thank you. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I know.
I can go ahead and go. I'm Casey. I started the KD program back in 2022. So I just wrapped up my second semester as of a couple hours ago, finishing my last exam. And so what I'm looking to get out of the KD program is I have an background in operations. So looking to potentially pivot out of operations and help use the KD program to explore other options and interact with fellow classmates to see what other opportunities are out there. And then as far as expectations for tonight's event, so right now I don't have a mentor per se. And so that's one thing that I would be interested in exploring is one, how to build that type of relationship and what that relationship would look like as well.
I can go next. So I'm also fall 2022, and my name's Kim, and I'm from Texas. And I was looking for just a, navigator, I guess. So I'm in operations at Apple, and don't think I want to leave Apple, but I'm not really sure where I want to go from here. So I'm using KD as kind of a stepping stone as just to see where I want to go. And then for mentorship, I have had formal mentorship through workplaces before, but I've always felt that it's kind of taking from. So like I'm always asking help for the resume or whatnot. And so I've never had one of those organic mentorships where it kind of, grows and past the formal mentorship bond. So like once the mentorship experience ended, I don't stay in touch. And so that's something that I do want to work on, is actually finding a more, back and forth, not just taking sort of mentorship.
I can go next. So my name's Samantha Choi. I started with Jenny and Michelle in the spring of 2022. So we only have 1 year left, y'all. So very excited. Jenny, I will hopefully see you on the global immersion this summer. I signed up for week 2. So, and you're like a global immersion like expert. So I'm gonna like lean on you on like all things travel.
I've got your back.
But that being said, I am the VP of Allyship currently. We just had our first Allyship event in January. You guys can check it out on YouTube. Really wonderful discussions, had a lot of allies on the call. Let's see, what's the next one? Expectations for tonight. So I do have a couple of formal, informal mentorships, and then I also do have a number of formal, informal mentees. So I'm happy to kind of cover how did I find those relationships? How do I navigate that throughout my career? Kimberly, I know you were asking about, how is it more of like a giving, taking? How can it be more of like an even playing field, I guess, if we want to put it that way? So I'm kind of happy to talk about that as well. But yeah, I absolutely love my mentors and my mentees. And I think it's a really wonderful way to give back and pay it forward, right? So I'm very excited for tonight's conversations.
Samantha, I just want to tell you, you were on point. So I had just a few questions listed out, and you just hit on those bullet points. And I'm going to post that in the chat in a few seconds. But yeah, I'm so excited to hear your experience. Who do we have left? Robin, you want to go next? Okay.
Yeah, so I joined in fall 2022, I think with Candace, Casey, and Kim. Yeah, for the biggest cohort here tonight. I am from Louisiana, live in Baton Rouge. I would love to get out of Louisiana, and move somewhere that has seasons, although I will miss Mardi Gras break. I have my degrees in music and piano. I run a music studio. We teach competitive classical piano, and I want to not do that anymore. And so I want to, I don't know what I want to do. I want to do so many things. I want to do everything. So yeah, I'm just here to learn it all and figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I have a bunch of kids. I have a son and 4 daughters, and I would this is probably getting in too deep, but I really want to, I don't know if we're doing anything with undergrads, but I just really feel like I want to kind of like be there for the younger generation. And like I feel like, especially having daughters and being raised in the South, not much is really expected of us other than to just get married and have family. And I kind of feel like that's why I'm so, not that I'm late, but I feel like I'm much further behind than I would have been had I lived somewhere else and like been raised somewhere else. So yeah, I don't know, just want to be there for like the next generation, and yeah, do whatever I can to help, and also figure out what I want to do with my life. So yeah, I've always just run my own business, and I've never worked for anybody else. So I've got a lot to learn from other people.
I just want to speak to that for a moment, Robin. First of all, like, I feel you on so many points about what you said. Being most of my time in the US has been spent in the South. But just in case, so I know I mentioned this at the beginning of that WIB, eventually we would like to progress our program, and that would include a structure where we're able to support the undergrads as well as be mentored by alumni, because there is this imbalance in mentorship, and there's this beautiful I'm sorry guys, the baby has my brain tonight, I can't even think of words. There's such a benefit of being able to give back and having that joy of being able to mentor the next generation. So that is on our radar, and thank you for mentioning it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Candace. I'm hoping you can hear me, and I apologize again that it's so dark. But I am, as Robin mentioned, in the fall 2022 cohort, and it's been a great journey so far. What led me on this journey to pursue my MBA was actually, I had a mentor. I'm coming from learning and development, and through another organization, I don't know if you guys know, but it's ATD. It's the biggest organization for learning and development in the country. Anyway, long story short, I had a mentor through that program, and ended up getting a job offer and ended up backing out of it, and then recommended my mentor to the job, and he took it. So anyway, what it led me to do was learn what I didn't want to pursue, which was more learning and development. So now I'm in school and am pursuing marketing, and I just recently moved into marketing. So I think for me, it's twofold really. What I'd like to do is understand how to be a better mentor, because I have someone I mentor at work. And I'd also like to see if there is a mentor out there for me in kind of marketing, since now I'm pivoting my entire career to that I've kind of, let my other mentor in my previous life go. And then I think, on the peripheral of all of this too, the other piece of this is for me to really plug into different associations that are really meaningful, and I'm here to network and meet new people and really push myself in all the ways. So, I don't even know how to officially join Women in Business, but very interested to do so.
And how do you pronounce your name, Candice?
Oh yes, it's Candace Sylvia.
Okay. So Candice, good news for you. There are a bunch of positions in WIB are going to open up in the near future. So you are absolutely welcome to pursue those, whatever you feel like. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I believe I grabbed you on LinkedIn, Candice, and I can send you more information if you want to get involved.
I would love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the dark side. You're pretty much already in, so welcome.
And Adi, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure, I can go next. I kind of came in late, so what are the questions? Sorry, I was in a work meeting that went way too long.
Oh, no worries. We are just discussing, like, we are introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
And where are you in your Kelly journey? I know you're about to graduate, and what are your expectations from tonight's event?
Okay, so living by myself, joined Kelly in fall of 2021. Can't believe how long ago that was. But yeah, so I've been in the program for what, 1.5 years now, something like that. Yeah. And so work for a defense contractor here in Colorado Springs. I actually used to live in the South, so I know a lot about that culture. 15 years I lived in Mississippi, so yeah. I'm trying to think what so what do I want to get out of tonight? I've had a lot of mentor-mentee relationships. It's actually kind of interesting because I'm starting a new position now, and so I'm getting mentored by the person before me in that position on like how to do it and stuff like that, and they kind of officially start tomorrow. But like the interesting thing is that because he's actually new to the company, I've also been teaching him stuff as well. So like it's kind of been a both ways sort of. We've kind of both taught each other stuff, and so I think even if you are a mentor and mentee in a relationship, I think it would be interesting because you can always learn from the other person, especially if you are a mentor. Regarding like stuff that you never knew about. So I think like the relationship can go both ways. And that's interesting. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, it's really exciting that some of our goals are like overlapping each other, and we have a lot to learn from each other. And I'm honestly very excited, Jenny, that you mentioned the peer mentor program. So I will definitely keep an eye on that. And for today's event, there are just a few high-level questions, and these are not like very, very formal. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, not like that. This is just like to give direction of our discussion. So I just put that on the chat. In a virtual setting, how do we like find mentors or mentees? It's more challenging after COVID, right? So if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to share. How often do you guys meet for more of a professional peer mentor relationship, and how do you prepare yourselves? Because at the end of the day, you want to be respectful for each other's time, right? So we want the meetings should be productive. And then what are your goals from the mentorship relationship? What do you want at the end of the day? And number 4 is like, if you don't get the desired outcome, and if you see it's not a perfect fit as a mentor-mentee relationship, how do you move on? Like, is it a formal like breakup, versus it organically happens and the both sides kind of understand, okay, this is not what we expected, and they shift organically, the relationship kind of dies on their own, and then you find someone else. So yeah, just feel free in whichever aspect you whichever aspect you think you have experience, or you want to share anything, just feel free.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about my company because we started this last year. We now have a formal mentorship program, and it's actually now in our goals that you either have to be a mentor or a mentee. So if you are of like a certain position, you have to have at least one mentee. And so like, because of that, I think there are a lot of higher ups who now have mentees, whereas they didn't previously. So it's kind of been a little bit forced by the company, but I would say that like, I found my mentee because my boss recommended her to me, and she's been absolutely great. So yeah, trying to see the other questions. How often do you guys meet and how do you prepare? So like that's the thing. Like in the formal mentorship, we meet once every 2 weeks, and we talk for like an hour. And I don't think I've ever prepared for one of those mentorship meetings, because I feel like, when you don't prepare, and this might just be me, the conversation can go in like wild directions. Like I remember like I was in a mentorship meeting just today, and like we were talking, and like we started talking about his kids, and then his daughter kind of runs on screen just because like, he was talking about her and she had heard that. So like, we can go in. So like, I think like that's the thing though, is that like when you have that sort of when you have that sort of like just talk about anything that comes up, you can I think the conversation can just flow, and I think you'll learn something that maybe you didn't before. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And what are your goals? I don't think there's like set goals for the mentor-mentee relationship within the company. It's just more like learn stuff that that would help you in your career. So like I've learned, I've been able to take what I've learned in like Professor Boyle's class and talk to her about it and see what she has to say about it, like what her real world experience is, because she has 20 plus years of experience in the workforce, but she's never done an MBA. So it's interesting to marry that theory and the practical together. So yeah, that's pretty much it for in terms of my company mentor-mentee stuff.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Adi. One quick question on that. So, as this is within the company, so it will probably be advantageous for you if you want to learn like cross-functional business, right? And she can teach you on that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that that's being mentioned because like I've only worked on software only teams and she's worked her entire life on multidisciplinary teams. So like she works on the F-35 plane, and so like obviously there are a lot of different functionalities within that. There's the mechanical engineers and the electrical and all that stuff, and so she's been able to bring that unique perspective of what is the how does the electrical engineering differ from the mechanical and stuff like that. And that's actually been useful for the new job that I'm kind of going into now, because for the first time, I'm going to be leading a lot of people who aren't software engineers. And that's kind of scary and exciting at the same time. Just because like I don't really speak of mechanical engineering language, but at the same time, you got to still be able to talk with them and ensure that they're doing their tasks and stuff on time. So it's been very interesting learning from her, and I think like she was kind of the perfect person to help me into this new role before I even learned that I would go into this new role.
That makes sense. That's great.
I know we've been chatting in the chat about ghosting mentors, mentees, what happens if it doesn't work out. And I found that the best strategy for like more formal mentors, like let's say you get assigned like a mentor, right? Whether you're in a program or whatnot. I found that sometimes, especially with my mentees that maybe we don't necessarily click. And they don't necessarily seem to be too interested in being mentored by me, whether it's because we're just in different industries or they just don't necessarily see themselves wanting to be mentored by me, which is totally fine and absolutely natural. I found the best way to handle that is actually introducing them to someone who I feel like would be a wonderful mentor for them and kind of meets them where they are, right? And I kind of do that nice soft introduction and kind of push them to say like, I really do think that this person can add value to you, right? Because especially when I've had mentors do that to me, because we've kind of come to the end of our mentorship, right? Like I'm either on to the next career path or they've opened a lot of doors for me. They're not necessarily ending the relationship with me. They're finding someone to continue to build my platform for me, right? And then we continue to have more informal touch points throughout my career. So even though we're not meeting monthly, quarterly, every once in a while I'll catch up with them, because I don't think mentorship necessarily ends. And I still do this with my mentees today, like when I hand them off to a different mentor. I think it's really important to still keep connected, right? They're still part of your network. But yeah, not every formal mentor-mentee pairing is going to work out. It might just be personality. It might just be because it's just not a good pairing, and that's very normal. But I do think finding that next step for both of you is important as well.
That's really a great tip. And basically you are doing a part of like the job of mentor by introducing themselves to someone else. That is the job of sponsor or mentor, right? So that's incredible. I have a quick question, Samantha, for you. So do you specifically look something from your mentees? Or is it just the one way that you are mentoring them?
No, I think it's a two-way, right? I think I'm providing them with mentorship, but then I think they're also providing me with feedback. I really love getting that live feedback from them. What can I do better? Like especially because, you know, I'm looking to move more into management as my career progresses. So I think the best time to work on that is as soon as possible. But also, you know, as a mentee myself, I find that there's a lot of value in just talking about your mentor and talking about what value they add to you, because I think that helps them build their reputation in places that they may not already have one, right? Like your network is now their network and vice versa, right? And so your mentor is going to champion you at tables that you may not have seats at, and you're going to champion your mentor in rooms that they may not be in, right? And I think that's a very good way to have like a two-way relationship as well.
That's great. Okay. And these mentors or mentee that you find, so are they all your work related, or is it a like formal program, or how do you find them?
So I have some more formal, like through my business resource groups or employee resource groups, right? But then I also find them through alumni, right? Like I find people who went to my undergrad or are currently Kelly's. I actually just met Kelly this week. And we now have like a quarterly catch up going. And I genuinely want to be her. Like, I'm like, you are who I want to be when I grow up. She's just absolutely fantastic. And I am looking to grow that into more of a mentorship relationship. Which I think this conversation is perfect timing, right? Because I'm reflecting on our conversation and kind of how we had nothing to really do with each other. Like our businesses don't really touch. I just kind of looked up Kelly alums on our business phone book. And I was like, oh, you're a Kelly, I'm a Kelly. You know, I wanted to grab coffee with her to ask her about her career progression. How did she navigate being such a senior person in my company? You know, and I work in the finance industry, so it's very male dominated. And I work in New York, so it's very competitive. So yeah, I'm like, clearly you did something correct. And I want to just learn from you. And then I also have like mentors that I've just met through life, like that have just kind of helped guide me, not necessarily like career advice, but sometimes just life advice, right? I think that's also really important. And my mentors span genders, ethnicities, age, and I think there's a lot of value to that diversity. Like you get different perspectives on different parts of your life, and I try to do the same for my mentees as well. So I recommend that. I know it's like it's a little daunting to be like you're managing so many relationships, but I think it kind of evolves to like, well, they're just now someone you catch up with, right? And I don't really feel like I'm managing them. Like they kind of just happen very naturally over time.
That's really inspiring. I love it. I love it.
I-
Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, I just want to pop on here because Kimberly, do you like Kimberly or Kim? What do you prefer?
I don't mind either one. I answer to both. So Kim's shorter if you want to go with that, but it doesn't bother me either way.
Well, because Kim, you put a question in the chat, and I just wanted to tell you, like, so I am looking to pivot, and I don't have a bold, like, I have certain criteria of what I want to do, but I don't have like a finite, like, this is what I need to be doing. And I think one of the things, and I know Sam touched on bits of this and what she was saying too, is like there's still a lot of value that you can add by mentoring people. And sometimes that's and right now, maybe it looks more like peer mentorship. Like it maybe you and like, let's have a call. What are you doing to pivot? What options are you looking to explore at this time? So, you know, that could be peer mentorship, but as far as like mentees, you have a successful career at Apple. I feel like there's something you can offer someone, you know, like you're in an MBA program. So I think just knowing that even though you're pivoting, like your background, your skills are still very helpful for others. And that may be looking at people who are trying to pursue their MBA. Like that may be where
that's a good
you're
point.
the most beneficial right now. And knowing that it's okay to move forward without like having that concrete, like, I know I'm going to use Jenny as an example because like Jenny's in marketing and she's here for marketing because she knows what she wants to do. And there is like this definite, like, you know, I have that moment of like, oh my gosh, like she has everything worked out and I don't. And you have that like moment of like insecurity. And it's like, no, like we're here to help one another and like to explore. So like I've gotten to talk to her about marketing opportunities. And like, you know, like we have different places. Just because you don't have that firm path doesn't mean you don't have skills to offer. I'll get off my broken record, but you're amazing.
No, I appreciate that. No, so it's one of those things like somebody reached out to me for my undergrad and was like, hey, can you be a STEM mentor? And I'm like, I'm not in STEM. Like, yes, I'm in a technology like company, but like I'm not an engineer, you know, I'm not coding or anything. And they were like, no, like it'll be fine, don't worry. And I was like, so it's one of those things that you have to be like, I think you just have to take the jump sometime and then just see where it leads. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And if it does work out, great. So
Well, and I think just to add to that, like you, just because you might not be able to speak to a certain specific topic doesn't mean you don't have a lot to bring to the table in other areas. And I mean, we talk about mentorship in a specific career area, but the reality is mentorship is about life in general too. I mean, like I almost think of a mentor as like a life coach in a way, and you're going to talk about bigger things aside from just the field that you're working in. So I think even if you're thinking, oh, I don't know that I can exactly speak to what that person who needs a mentor might want me to speak to, I still have more value to bring to the table. And I think being a mentor is so valuable. I mean, I think it really encourages you to grow and stretch yourself. So I personally think putting yourself out there is a really great way to grow. And you might even get more ideas about what you want to do ultimately for anyone who's considering switching it into a different industry too.
I find it most inspiring what Sam mentioned, that I want to look up to someone, you know, I want to see someone in a certain position, and then it gets so much easier, you know. So he or she, whatever the gender is, they are going to inspire me and make it look easy, you know. Sometimes I can speak for myself. Sometimes I get frustrated or overwhelmed in general. Like how am I going to manage everything or balance everything? But if I can look up to someone who has done similar things, then it gives me a message that okay, things are possible. If yeah, take a deep breath and definitely, like, probably this is not the best day, but tomorrow I'm going to try again and I'm going to reach there. So yeah, I just want to look up to someone so the journey gets easier, in short. So
And I also think mentorship isn't about answers. It's not about you're going to give them the answers. It's really about perspective and being a sounding board for your mentee and really listening to them, and then maybe asking them questions to kind of help them think through what they're going through, right? And I think because you've had experience, you can actually speak to her like, okay, like, have you thought about this part of that? Like, have you thought about how you would handle this situation, right? And I think that by itself is wonderful mentorship.
And I want to add something. Oh, Casey, did you?
Yeah, I was just going to add on to Samantha. I think that's a really good point there. I just had a conversation about a week ago with someone I graduated undergrad from, and they're looking to go back and get their MBA. And they were asking me questions around schools and which school to choose, which school to look at. And it was really kind of talking with them and probing with them to get them to think about why did they want to get an MBA and what did they get out of it. So I agree with you. It's not necessarily a relationship where you're always providing answers, but it's more so giving them like another perspective or viewpoint or something else to consider and think about.
Yeah, and just to add on to that quickly, sorry, Michelle, I think it's important to distinguish between hard skill mentorship and soft skill mentorship. Like in a perfect world, you can have a mentor who can speak to both sides, or you can be a mentor who can speak to both sides, but it doesn't have to be both. Like having a soft skill mentorship relationship is super important as well, because as we know, soft skills are so important. So even if you can't speak to the technical hard skill side in a relationship, you can still bring so much value from a soft skill standpoint. So again, I'm just championing all of you to go forth if you want to be a mentor. I think it's a really valuable thing.
I was going to add in the caveat is that I hope all of us are this like sparks that in you of like becoming a mentor and mentee and pursuing that. I would add on the caveat of making sure that you have like there is formal and informal mentorship, but when you are taking on someone who wants to be your mentee, having an alignment of expectations can be very helpful. I have had mentees in the past where I did not have that conversation up front, and they ended up wanting to like speak on the phone for an hour 3 times a week, and I don't have that availability, right? So just having that like, you know, that clarity of what the expectation is of one another, whether it's, you know, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, it makes it so that, I mean, I don't ghost people, I tell people, but it makes that conversation much softer. So expectation management.
I really appreciate everyone's insight onto this, because that is something I struggle with, is either finding a mentor or whether I want to be a mentor. And I really enjoyed hearing all of your point of views, and it was very helpful. So thank you.
We are almost, do any one of you share anything else? We had a wonderful discussion. I mean, so many takeaways, right?
Don't forget to share your wins with your mentor. The mentors love to hear like wonderful news about your career, what you're doing next, what you're working on. You know, it doesn't always have to be, oh, I need help. You know, can you give me advice? It can genuinely just be like, oh my gosh, I just completed this wonderful project, you know, and, you know, talking about that and what you've learned from that. I think that's, you know, a wonderful way to also have more conversations with your mentor, and it gives them insight into what you're working on, and they can kind of help open more doors for you if they know what you're interested in, what you've done before.
True.
Well said.
Great. Yeah, we just have 3 minutes left. So thanks a lot, everyone. And before we wrap up this event, so the couple of announcements for the open positions for WIB. So Michelle, congratulations. She's expecting her second baby boy. And you will be on this board till the end of spring this year, right?
Yes, so this is going to be my last semester. I really wanted to stay on, but realistically, I will be returning in the fall with a 3-week-old. So I think someone with a little more mental sanity will be better suited. So it has been an absolute joy. I mean, this has made my Kelly career as being a part of WIB. If anybody is interested in pursuing presidency, we will have elections in the spring. But we also do have other board positions open and available. If you are not interested in the presidency or board positions, we do have other roles if you want to take a more active role in the association. So I did plant our link tree in here. I'll put it in again. But please feel free. You can email me directly. You can reach out to any of the board members, and we're happy to give you more information and direct you in the right way. And Candace, I sent you a LinkedIn. We need to accept my invite. Be friends with me, and I can send you more information, but I can't send it to you till you accept.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, and also we have a special projects team. So if you don't want to be so much involved, so there will be time to time there we would need some help with in completion with some particular project. So you can be a special projects team member, and then you can help out the board members of WIB as well.
And just to quickly add, if you do want to take on a lot more responsibility, KDSLA also is going to have 2 board positionings opening in the summer. So just keep that in mind as well. Not to steal your potential people, but just throwing it out there so people know. Yes.
Hey, back off, lady, back off.
We need people.
Yeah, we all need. Well, awesome. And we are at time. And I go ahead. Oh, sorry. Before we adjourn, let me take a quick picture and everybody smile for the camera. Okay. I can take one more. Candice, I know you are driving. It's okay. Just a second. It didn't come. Very nice. Oh, eyes closed. I'm sorry. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Cool, awesome, perfect. So yeah, with that, we are going to post it in LinkedIn and other areas, definitely in the newsletter or whatnot. Well, with that, we want to wrap up and thanks so much for your time and all the insightful discussion. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.